Hello and welcome to the Modiphius Twitch channel, here on Twitch, obviously, and welcome to our Dreams and Machines adventure, our mini-series that we are running. This is now episode 4 of the adventure, with a session 0 beforehand. Again, if you haven't watched the previous adventures, where have you been? What have you been doing? Go back and watch those straight after this, because then you will have context as what's happening. It makes sense. But you can find all our past episodes on our new Modiphius YouTube channel, Modiphius Live, which is our new home for all our actual plays, tutorial videos, all that sort of stuff there. So go check it out, because we have Fallout on there, we have Static Adventures, we have Dreams and Machines, and we have more stuff going. But yes, thank you very much for joining us. We left the last session off in a little bit of a cliffhanger, so we're going to be jumping in pretty quickly. But to recap for everyone, our group have now left the forest that they were traveling through and decided to partially burn down. They briefly made a friend in the hut that they were hiding in to escape the flames, a nanogram bear called Steamy, who, after speaking to them and freaking out about the forest being on fire, they turned off very quickly, and then Zeke stole him and dismantled the nanogram circuit board, mainframe and everything, and took Steamy and his data and everything in the hope of attaching it to his rig and making his own AI generated nanogram friend. But the group left the forest, and upon leaving were met by some local Avarians, who were there in an attempt to go and put out the fire, but luckily Cap explained to them that it's a controlled burn, it'll peter out, it'll be fine. And then they were escorted back to these locals' abode, their town where they're from, which was called, it's a place called Seleco Camp. It is to the south of New Moss Grove. If you follow the south road down, it's just past the mountains there. They were taken there and seated outside a local inn that was closed, whilst they waited for the town elder to come and greet them. This elder was a gentleman in his mid to early 30s that went by the name of Mihao, who was very grateful for the group's assistance in putting out the fire and their services as a fire prevention team, as you now have described yourselves as, traveling in Vero Prime, putting out fires. But he was very grateful and offered you a place to stay at the inn. He said he would get the innkeeper to come over and get everything set up in there so you could have drinks and meals before you rest, and offered you a very gracious discount on all your amenities that you utilize here in the camp for your services. But there's a toll to come and go along the road here in Seleco Camp, so that will be dealt with when you decide to leave, if you ever leave. But anyway, the elder left because he had work to do, and you were invited into the inn by a woman by the name of Regina, who kind of took your order and got you all set up. And then the actual innkeeper, Harold, being a kind of born and bred native of New Moss Grove, had moved here, actually gave you a real discount on the food and drink and accommodation, and you were all given a room each. And after you'd had some drinks and you had some food and a chance to relax and recuperate, you all went to sleep, and had a very pleasant, relaxing rest until, say, roughly 5 a.m. ish, if we were to use a standard time. You were awoke, some of you by screaming, some of you by the sound that followed. That sound being
uh-oh.
So,
Wow.
with this sound waking you from your slumber, we're gonna jump into our intro and then bring things up to speed to the now, and decide what you're going to do with this new information. So we will see you all in a moment. Okay. You have all awoken to the sound of screaming and what can only be described as pulse weapon fire and heavy metallic stomping outside the inn. What are you doing?
The first thing is I'm hearing this noise. I know Zeke has been wanting to interact with a Waker, but obviously I don't know for a fact. Can I determine what is going on just from the sounds, knowing that I'm a very tech-driven individual?
From the sounds, there is a large robotic creature outside shooting people.
Zeke is demonstrative, so the immediate thing is knowing that sounds like a machine, is running out, and I'm pulling out one of my discs because I'm getting ready to specifically I'm gonna try to prompt the disc as soon as I find the machine for a discharge if possible.
Okay.
Are there windows like to where in the rooms that we're in?
There are, yes.
Okay, I would just like to run to the window and peek out to like see what's going on.
Okay. Roll me a d20 and just tell me what you get.
Okay. 10.
10. Okay, that's very straight down the middle.
Yep.
Okay. So you look out the window of the room you're in, and what you see is fields going off into the distance with the mountains in the far distance and the forest land, and you see people running into the fields very frantically, and you then hear and you see a blast of energy fly from an area that you cannot see from your window into the field towards the people that are running.
I know. And we're all in separate rooms. Is that
Yes.
what? Okay. Yeah. I then I'll leave and I'll make towards Crassus's room, wherever they may be.
Okay. So Zeke, so far, Jewel, you've looked out the window, seen a bit of what's going on, and you're now heading to Crassus.
Yeah.
For assistance, Zeke has just run outside on their own.
Yes.
Okay, Cap, Crassus, and Bixby, what are the three of you going to do in this situation?
I probably fell out of my hammock that I was sleeping in. I would say Cap would probably sleep mostly clothed in case something happened, but I'll like grab my covert cloak and like very quickly put it on, grab like my crossbow and everything. I can't find my fucking shoes anywhere because I put them somewhere, so just like barefoot padding, like I haven't activated my cloak yet because I don't want to accidentally get shot by somebody, and I'll like just like somewhat stealthily like open my door. What the fuck? No, I'm not gonna stealthily do that. I know they're outside. They're not in here. I'm like whip my door open and like just look down the hall, see where everybody's going. If I'm assuming in the same hallway as Jewel, I will run up behind her and like maybe I'll go and I'll like grab her hands so that we're holding hands. Hopefully not surprise her too much.
What's going on? Oh, God, there's some machines or something is out there. Oh, come on. Let's go find our spear.
Okay. Before we jump to Crassus, Bixby, what are you doing?
Bigsby wakes up and this like the sound of a waker or this sort of machine-like sound definitely is something that scares him immensely because he's only heard it a couple times before, and each time it's been bad. So almost like out of instinct, he grabs his rifle and he like just grabs his scarf with his glyph patterns on it, like wraps it over his face, puts the hood over, and opens the door, kind of like probably faster than you see him normally move. And he looks at the hallway, and he's going to run to the front door of the inn, unless he bumps into the gang on the way.
Okay. I'll say yeah. As you get your stuff together and you leave your room, you see Jewel and Cap kind of getting to Crassus's door and about to open it. And your room, Bixby, is literally next door to Crassus's room anyway, so you're within like arm's length of Jewel and Cap. Crassus, we now come to you. You hear all this commotion outside. A familiar sound to you. What are you doing?
So immediately double check my satchel, make sure I've got my spears blend ready. Grab my electro spear, and Crassus just heads right out the room, just like a little excitement on his face, just ready to go.
Okay, as you open the door, you see Jewel and Cap kind of stood there, and Bigsby next to them.
Protect us!
Yeah. Okay. I'm pretty sure it's a Waker, guys. There's something out there. We gotta go out there. We gotta help people.
Okay, yes, what's the best method of approach?
We should probably have like some sort of plan. Like if we just like go running out there, looks at Zeke. We're probably gonna end up like completely dusted. So I think a plan would be good.
Okay. I think I have some stuff that we could use in here. Going through my jacket pockets.
Bigsby he's got just the hood up and his scarf over his face and hide.
Hide? But all these people are gonna die.
We get as many people to safety as we can, and we hide.
Guys, we can take this on. Trust me. Look, we've got this. I can go out there with the stuff on my face. They're not even gonna know that I'm there. I'll figure out what's going on, and we'll fight it. Okay?
We should plan faster.
Okay. All right, hold on. I knew these would come in handy some point, and I'm going to I'm going to use just what they need for my once per session. Mm-hmm. Oh, God, please let me have chosen something. Oh, God, do I want... It's cool. I'm going to give these to Crassus. I'm going to I can spend up to 3 supply points for something worth up to 2 coins per supply point. So this is a 6-coin item. Mm-hmm. I'm going to use 3 supply points, and I'm going to hand you 3 EMP grenades.
Oh.
Okay.
Yes, I've just had these in my pocket for when it would come in handy, and I think now might be the time. You'd have a better chance throwing these than I would. Oh, shoot, you don't have tech level. Give these back. Hold on. Give me that. Yeah,
What tech level are they?
Tech level 4. What happens if you're below a tech level?
You're bad at it.
Bad things. We learned that last
The DC on utilizing it will be a lot higher.
Is a lot higher. Okay.
But there's a
Tech level
chance.
2. I'm gonna blow myself up.
Okay. If it's just one level difference, is it?
It's a bit easier.
It's a bit okay. Well, I'll hold on to. Okay, but I would never get close enough to throw a grenade. I'm going to pull out the EMP repeater instead of the grenades.
Okay.
I'll try and use this from a safe distance. You go in and do what a spear does best.
Okay, let's do this.
Okay.
I could also could we lead it away from the stuff?
Yes.
And fight it.
Great idea.
So, whilst the 4 of you are discussing
Zeke is
your
in the
plan,
background of the shot.
Zeke, you have rushed out and you are now outside on your own. You've run out of the front door and you see a large entity before you. A metallic creature, roughly somewhere between 15 and 20 feet in height. A good 10 to 15 feet wide. It stands on what appear to be 3 kind of tripod legs with very heavy, stumped, flat-bottomed bases. You see it has a pivot point at its waist, and where its torso is, you just see a large, hulking, spherical mass with a large red glowing circle in the middle, and then attached to either side of it what look like arms are actually some form of weapon on each side.
I'd like to assess certain details, starting with I want to be able to pinpoint its optical, like how it sees, and if I can determine if the weapon that's attached to it is powered.
Mm-hmm.
I want to see if I can tell if there's any surge of actual, I don't know, power in it that can be disabled before, because I don't want to waste my discharge if I can't determine if there's power in that, or if it's like
Okay, I get what you mean.
a passive energy tool.
Yeah. If it's a sort of weapon that needs to charge up to then disperse rather than just
Exactly.
consistently fire. Okay. Make me insight study.
Insight study, because that's what I'm here to do. What's the difficulty?
Because of the situation, it will be a difficulty 3.
Difficulty 3, that's my demonstrative state. So we're going to go ham and we're going to spend a fortune. We're going to spend a spirit to jump in this. Yeah, let's do it.
Mm-hmm.
Difficulty 3.
Yes.
I have an insight of 12. I got a 9, 10, and 11. So that's 3 successes.
Okay. Very good. Looking at this thing, studying it as quickly as possible to assess the situation, you see that the weapon on its right side is not a powered weapon. It is something that it can just fire passively. The weapon on its left hand side, which has a very large spherical opening on the end of a very thick barrel, is a powered weapon, and you can see that there appears to be a slight glow coming from within the barrel as it kind of turns its entire torso, as it were, to look out down the main road.
And the direction it's looking is away from me currently.
Yes.
So demonstrative, and it's not the smartest thing, but I have multiple appendages that are spare for a reason. I'd like to use my discs to have, I have 2 arms free plus my 2 hands. So 1 appendage to hold a discharge, 1 to hold a glitch.
Mm-hmm.
And I'd like to ready 1 hand with my repulsor glove to prepare a barrier just in case this doesn't go well. And I'd like to essentially work through the last thing is kind of go through my supplies to consider if I can make a makeshift EMP based tool using my supply points. Not now, I know, because I don't have enough hands for it, but to assess that. I'm going full Sherlock Holmes as my music is slowly starting to begin. And I'm trying to basically set these 2 and bring its attention to me to glitch it, get it to discharge one of its weapons, and defend myself in that same process.
Okay, so are you, in essence, right now, are you readying an action to do these things, or do you wish to
I want to do it now. I want to be I want to know if I can get all those things, since I have the spare appendages, to have them ready. And if I could do that, then I'm going to shout to get its attention.
Okay. Interesting. Okay. So the rest of you, you've now kind of got yourselves together, got yourself prepared. And I'm going to make the presumption that you guys are going to head out and see what's there, or are you going to wait a minute? What are you doing?
What question is? Are we on the 2nd floor? Is this a 2-story little
It
inn,
is, yes.
or is?
Yeah.
And the machine is not visible from where we are? Or
not from the side of the building you were looking out of.
Oh, I would like, if I could remain in the building and find a position to see the machine from here,
Yeah,
That
simply-
would be-
yeah, easy enough. You go into one of the rooms on the opposite side of yours, and look through a window, and you see this thing that is
Yeah.
kind of the same height as you.
And great. I think that Jewel kind of sets up, and this is the last revision because there's multiple guns in this game. There's a lot. There's a lot of really cool equipment. It's the EMP beamer specifically.
Okay. Yeah.
Whatever could keep me the furthest away from this thing was the gun that I was grabbing. And I think like Jewel awkwardly, because she's not a fighter, sort of like sets up like, I think I saw someone do it like this once, and sets up with this beamer at the window like to shoot this machine from here.
Okay.
Attempt.
Yeah. I think as we're ready to go, I'm gonna go over to Zeke's door and knock on it. Like, we should get the group together.
Oh, question, Zeke. Did you leave your door open or closed?
Open. Zeke did
Open,
not
okay.
try. Zeke just sprinted out, got the back,
Yeah.
got the EGOT, and was out.
Okay, Bigsby, the door's open as you arrive. Zeke's not inside.
So yeah, I like Bixby's sort of like tactically moving everywhere now because he's just prepared for this thing to be around every corner. So he sees the door open and like, okay, Zeke's gone, everybody.
He's
Oh, well, color me shocked and surprised.
probably doing
Gotta
some
get out there.
tech stuff. I don't know.
We can't leave him out
all
there
right.
by himself. Come on, let's go.
He
Yeah,
like
okay.
speaks to machines or something.
All right, let's go get our techie.
I'm staying here. I'm staying. I'll be inside. I'll cover you. I think that's what they call it.
Okay, so Bigsby, Crassus, and Cab, do the three of you exit the building?
Yep.
Okay, wonderful. As the three of you exit the building, and Jewel, as you get yourself into position, you can now see this Waker on the main road in the town. As the three of you exit the building and you step outside, you see Zeke stood in front of you. You see this giant Waker, and at this point, Zeke, how are you getting its attention?
So I have my headphones on, and so what I do as I get these ready and my repulsors ready, I'm like, hey there, and I'm gonna let my music, I'm gonna turn it on reverse to let the music blast outward.
Okay.
As we're getting basically it's a classical dubstep is the best way to describe it.
Okay, so as the three of Bigsby, Crassus, and Cab, as you exit, and Jewel, as you're set up to cover everyone, you can see Zeke stood outside the inn. The three of you approach and hear Zeke go, "Hey there," potentially talking to you, potentially not. But as he does, and you suddenly hear this music start blaring from Zeke, the Waker, having 100% heard this, on its axis, its kind of pivot point at its waist, spins to turn directly facing the inn at the five of you, and you see that the large red glowing eye that is its torso, you see it kind of contract and then expand as it focuses, and you see both weapons alter position and both face down towards Zeke, and the three of you stood behind Zeke.
I'm gonna try and shoot at one of the weapons, I guess specifically.
Okay, wonderful.
Oh yeah.
Going, oh no, oh no, oh no.
We will begin combat. So yeah, we're gonna roll some attacks now for these weapons. So Jewel, I want you to roll. Let me double check your weapon.
Yeah. Yeah, tell me a bit about how this works. The EM beamer, it's tech level 4, which is one level above my tech level.
Yes. So you're going to.
It's long ranged, it's powered, it's got the breaker quality, and it's scary. But I think the breaker quality is the part that is relevant to you. This breaker is especially good at inflicting damage to machines. Armor and NPCs with protection will list how much protection they provide against breaker attacks.
1 second, let me double check something.
Yeah. The only thing I don't know is the type of damage, or I couldn't find where.
For the beamer?
Yeah, it's overloaded for, but I just couldn't find what.
So the
where
4 is
descriptions.
is the damage. Overloaded is the injury that it inflicts.
So it seems, yeah, because these don't damage living beings. It's just for
Yeah. Where is the
machines.
There it is. Just a ranged attack, which I remember because it's been a minute.
Mm-hmm.
We're gonna be rolling.
Yeah.
I know. I'm finding it.
No. I'm just.
We're gonna go.
You could tell us anything, and I'd say yes.
I know. I could. I'm gonna go.
Yeah, boss.
Insight fight. Okay. We'll use that.
Insight
We'll use that.
fight.
It's range. I'm gonna say insight because you need to kind of focus your aim and fight because we're fighting. We're shooting.
Right, but.
Or you could go insight operate.
Okay, that's what I was saying. Say opera because I'm not up and close,
True,
trying to
true,
tango
true.
in this
I like
fight.
that one.
Okay, so I start with 2 dice.
Yes.
And the tech level aspect of it, because it's 1 tech level above me, is that do anything to my dice roll now, or?
No, it's just gonna increase the difficulty. If it's a tech
Okay.
level above what you have. And for this, I'm going to say, because of the size of the creature and everything, it's going to be a difficulty 3. And that includes
3.
the
Okay.
the markup because of your tech
Okay.
level.
And this is to get 1. Okay, so, and I spend spirit to get extra dice.
Yes.
Okay, so I will spend. I will spend 2 spirit, 3 spirit.
Okay.
So I can try and hit this thing. Okay. Okay. Hey, Jewel's really good at shooting things. I got 2 of them are under operate because I got 2 2s.
Okay, so that's 4.
And that's it. But there are 2 2s. That's
Okay.
still, that's, yeah.
So
That's 1 more than we needed, right?
it is. So you generate a point of momentum
Okay.
from that. So the group has 6 momentum total. And what is the damage that weapon does again?
It's
repeat,
overloaded
overload
4.
Okay, and hold on. That is a breaker. Is it a breaker weapon? It is.
Breaker
It is a breaker
reduces it
weapon.
by 2.
Well, for this creature, it does, because this creature does have armor. But it does. So you hit it, and do I want to spend any threat?
And I was aiming for one of the weapons.
Yeah, you were aiming
said there
for-
were 2, right? Yeah.
There were, yeah. Which one were you aiming for?
Are
Left
they
or
different
right?
from each other?
There are 2 different types of weapon. One is on the
Can
left.
you
one is
describe
on the
what they
right.
look like?
One is very large. Well, they're both very large, but one has a very thick barrel with a large opening that is currently glowing inside.
Yeah. Okay.
The other one is 2 shorter barrels on the end of one. In essence, one looks like a machine gun, one looks like a cannon.
Yeah.
If
I'm
possible, I want to be able to help in this way if Zeke can see or tell that Jewel is trying to shoot at. Because Zeke would want primarily, if someone's going to shoot at a weapon, to shoot at the one that doesn't need to be powered, because discharge would neutralize that weapon, and if the shot can get the other one, we could essentially.
I'm gonna cut you off and say this is all happening at the same time as you shouting forward, so you're not looking behind you to notice Jewel in the window.
It's worth a shot.
But maybe next,
Yes.
maybe afterwards, maybe you can let them know that.
and I have no idea or can't remember which one it was. So I am going to It's probably the wrong one. Sorry, Zeke. The cannon looks scarier.
That's fair. That's fair. It is
or looks more
scary
area
weapon.
attacky.
Okay, I'm gonna say you shoot at that weapon, and you hit it, and as you do, you see this Waker kind of turn on its pivot axis, taking damage from that. You see that some of the outer plating on this large cannon on its side breaks, and you see the metal open to the point you can see some of the glow that you can see at the end of the barrel. Now you can see the glow out the side of the cannon. So it has taken the damage. It has.
That's me. I feel like I duck under after.
No problem. Let me just double check one thing. Because I've got some threat I can spend.
Uh-oh.
Womp womp.
Okay, I'm gonna spend 2 of my 10 threat.
Ooh.
Okay. So you do damage to it, and you can see that the metal has ripped on the side. As you do, it takes out and it spins back. You see its eye, its torso eye, again contract and expand, but it seems to be slightly looking up towards you, Jewel.
Bad news. Yeah, I duck behind, I duck under the windowsill.
Okay, no problem. I will say, Zeke, because this is all kind of happening at the same time, can you roll me a quickness talk?
Quickness talk.
Yeah.
Oh, what in the world? What's the difficulty for this?
2.
Oh,
the reason for this check is to see how quickly you were able to get your distraction out before Jewel took her shot.
Yeah, I'm not that. I don't want to waste my spirit on this because it's not my forte. So I'll just roll 2d20 raw, and yeah, that's not gonna happen. That's no successes.
Okay, that's fine. You shout. You make your distraction. Unfortunately, as you do it, everyone else realizing you're there and shouting, Jewel gets her shot off quick enough to do damage to this Waker, but slightly too quick for it to focus on you, and the Waker focuses on Jewel rather than taking your distraction and looking at you. It looks at Jewel instead. So it's Jewel has shot at this Waker. It has been hit. You can see that there is damage on its arm. What's everyone else doing? Who wants to go next?
I think I'm gonna try. Oh yeah, go for it. No, go for it.
So I'm ready to go. So Crassus has kind of snuck down to ground level. Waker hasn't seen him yet because of the glyphs on his face and body, and I just prepare to attack this thing with my spear.
Okay. Where you gonna whereabouts on its body are you planning to attack it?
So I'm going for one of the legs.
You go for leg. Okay, so you're gonna stay at ground level
yeah.
and try and take a leg out rather than say try and climb it and get it from elsewhere. Okay.
Yep, trying to slow it down.
Yeah, roll me a. We're going melee, so roll me a might fight.
Might fight. That's
Yeah.
2 dice.
So yeah, you always roll 2 dice, and you want to roll under your might for a success or under your fight for a critical success, which counts as 2. And for this, because it's focused on you, I'm going to say the difficulty is 2 as well.
Okay.
Because Jewel has distracted it by being aggro.
Ooh, I did not roll under for either. I got a 13 and a
Okay.
19.
Okay, So I'm going to say you rush up to the Waker and you go to jab your electro spear in, but your aim is slightly off as you've literally just woken up. You're still a little bit groggy from sleep. And rather than getting into one of the cracks between the armor plating, you just hit it square on and dink off, as it were. So, with that, Crassus, you are now stood at the base of it. Big spear cap.
I will activate my cloak, and however it activates, I'm going to assume there's like a reboot button to
Yeah.
And grab my synthetic rope and start giving it like the Empire Strikes Back.
Yeah.
And see how many, see if I can. I feel like a dreamer would be good at tying knots with all of my trap capabilities. So just try and start pulling it as tight and as many times around as I can around the feet.
I'm going to say you begin to do that. You manage to get the rope kind of anchored at one of its legs and you begin running round. Bixby, before your turn, the Waker itself is going to take an action. And it is going to aim the gun it has on its right hand side up at the window, and it's going to attempt to shoot at Jewel, who has just shot at it. So I get to make some rolls.
Cool.
And I'm going to say, because of where you are, you're covered in that, so it's going to be a difficulty 3 for this creature to hit you. Unless you have anything that can bump up my difficulty.
No, let's see. Because I'm just kind of figuring out how this works. I've got protective clothing. That's like against the damage once it hits, right?
Yes.
And yeah, no, I think that would be it. There's not like you don't use like your quickness or anything when you're defending.
You can try and oppose the test, and dodge it.
Okay.
Let me double check.
Yeah. Tell me if I'm just. I don't know how. If I can, I think I would attempt to do a little maneuvering out of the way. At least attempt.
Yeah, so what you can do is, you can in essence dive for cover from a ranged attack.
Okay.
And it'll be a contested roll. So
okay.
I'm going to say it will be your quickness move.
Quickness move, okay.
Versus my insight operate.
Alright, I'm just rolling the 2.
Okay, I as well am only rolling 2 dice for this.
I did not succeed at all.
It too did not succeed.
Oh, okay, cool.
It rolled a 10 and a 12. What did you roll?
Maybe I'm like diving to get out of the way, but I just trip over myself, but like happen to trip out of the way.
Yeah, in essence. So what we'll say is it tries to shoot you with its kind of repeater weapon. It's kind of like plasma repeater. And it hits the window that you're in, but you do manage to duck out of the way. And one shot hits the outside of the window, kind of chipping the wall and spraying you with debris. One shot goes in and hits the back of the room you're in the ceiling, and does a little bit of damage there. I'm just gonna spend a point of threat to create. It's fine. In fact, no, I'll spend 2. Let's do it right. We'll spend 2 points. I'm going to create a truth. The shot, the plasma repeater shot that hit the back of the room appears to have smoldered some of the inside wall, and it is now catching on fire.
Oh, yeah. Cool.
Easy peasy.
Setting more things on fire. Why not?
Who has that fire suppression kit?
It was a temporary item you made.
It was temporary?
If you use
they're
supply
gonna-
I
points, it
think
was.
you hung on to it.
Unless,
Or not-
yeah,
or maybe
you might
not.
have kept it.
Oh, that's right, because you
It's
have the
never
feature.
used. So it's
They're gonna find out we're not real firefighters.
it could be in your room unless you picked it up and carried it because it was quite a large, bulky item.
Yep. Okay.
So what it does, yeah, it turns, it fires at you, Jewel, and it kind of stays in position, looking at the window to check. You know, did it eliminate the target, as it were? As it does this, Bigsby, we come to you.
Yeah.
What do you wish to do?
Having seen that like get fired at the building, Bigsby kind of like he's freaking out because like he knows that's where Jewel was. And I'm just gonna try to distract it. Like I imagine we're on this like long street. Can I see sort of like the clearest way to get to outside of the town?
I'm gonna say yeah, because of the way you entered the town, you didn't enter from the road, you entered from the fields. Yeah, some of the quickest ways is into the fields, where some of the people who live here have tried to evacuate to. That Jules saw from her bedroom window. The other option is like up and down the main road, which you are all kind of on at this point.
Okay, I'm gonna try and like pull it. I guess if I see people running in a direction, I'm gonna try to pull it the opposite direction. But I'm gonna try to get its attention and be like, "Follow me." Like,
Okay.
yeah.
Okay, how are you gonna get its attention? What are you doing? And you could shoot at
I'm
it
gonna.
if you wanted.
Yeah,
That would
I'm
probably
gonna.
get
I'm gonna
its attention.
shoot kind of like near it. Not. Yeah, I'm gonna shoot with my hunting pulsar, which does burning damage. So I don't even know if that's like effective against these things.
Okay, potentially.
Yeah.
So make me insight operate.
Machines can burn.
I got no successes.
Okay. Your shot hits it, but kind of pings off. It doesn't do any lasting damage. I'll say you do hit it because of your close proximity to it, but it's just not getting through.
Gotcha.
But it does take it. It does see it, and does it change its? Let's have a see. Yeah, we'll say it hears your weapon discharge and it turns and faces you. So you have now got its attention.
And I'm just gonna start like backing up and mocking it. I don't know if that's
Okay.
like, all right, you big old bucket of bolts. Let's go.
Make me a resolve talk.
Resolve talk. That's okay.
And by chance, is like by looking towards Bixby, does it have to glance and focus towards the rest of us? Since Bixby was like near me.
I was behind Zeke.
Ooh. I'm gonna say yeah. It does look towards you.
If it focused on Bixby, that means it would have had focus and acknowledge my glyphs.
So
Because I was holding those up very specifically.
okay, so
in
before
case
we
it looked-
resolve those, Bixby, what did you get on your resolve talk?
I got a 1 and a 3, which is underneath both my talk and resolve.
Okay, so it's 4 successes. Cool. Okay, so before we deal with that, Zeke, what do your glyphs do? How do they activate? What needs to be done to activate them?
So they are just active because they've already been inscribed on them. So once a machine sees them, I have 2 that are active, which is my discharge and glitch. Discharge forces it. The idea is that when it sees the signal, it wastes its battery playing my music. Basically, it catches the signal and replays the audio for discharge. And glitch forces it to have to lose its power and focus and has to take an action. So its next action it loses because it has to get rid of the code that I put into it.
Okay. Let me double check discharge. I like the sound of it.
Yeah,
Did I
upon seeing
wanna-
this glyph, the machine safely discharges its power tools and weapons, preventing them from being used until they are recharged.
Yeah, so it is going to discharge its kind of pulse cannon that it's got, is plasma blast. So what it does is it hears what you see it kind of look towards Bigsby. Its eye goes to focus and it catches your glyphs as it's focusing with Bigsby stood there, and you see it kind of like the whole upper torso, which is just one big eye with guns attached, kind of twitches, and then the left arm drops to the ground, and hold on a minute, because there's someone stood there. Okay. It discharges the weapon straight down into the ground, but it wasn't fully charged at this point, so luckily it's not a very extensive blast, but there is a blast of energy that hits the floor maybe 3 feet in front of Crassus. Luckily, Crassus, you're unscathed as this thing kind of discharges into the ground in front of you, but that weapon is now lowered, and yeah, it is currently the Waker is currently just stood somewhat motionless at this point, as it's trying to kind of recover itself from the glitch that has
yeah, and actually it specifically it seizes up and its process is overwhelmed by a burst of junk data and logic errors. It must spend its next action clearing errors and problems.
Okay, so that happens. I will also say, Bigsby,
Nice.
when this Waker has dealt with its issue, its focus is primarily going to be on you.
Nice. I'm shouting things like, "Come on, you want some real Aviran meat? Right here, come on, buddy. Forget these Seleco folk."
Okay. Okay.
Wow.
So,
I still hate this town.
that's fine. So what I'll say is that the Waker is currently motionless, and you all get an action to do whatever you wish to do now. It will have to be you will have to be quick, because this thing will kind of reboot and clear itself and be back on the warpath very, very quickly.
So upon seeing it discharge the weapon, I can assume that it caught my glyphs. If I would Zeke would probably speak out immediately upon seeing it go down, and I can be like, all right, it looks like it caught the discharge. It's down, it's offline, attack, just panic franticing to deal with it, trying to let everyone know that it's offline for a moment.
I think Jewel pops her head up over the window, sort of hears that, looks to the machine, looks back to the fire that's starting, looks back to the machine, and is like, oh, you've got this. I'm gonna run to try and get the fire suppression kit to deal with the fire in the inn.
Okay.
If and that same thing, I saw the shot at least. Do I recognize the type of weapon that Jewel had used, the energy from it?
Let me roll for this. Would you recognize it? Yeah, you've got a rough idea.
I'm not great with weapons, but after I know it's offline, I think Zeke would be like, "Jewel, give me the gun."
What? Okay. I guess I'll throw it out the window. Are you
Okay.
below me?
Okay.
I think that's the idea. Is I'm
Okay,
on the
great.
floor level below the
Yeah.
window.
How
Yeah,
good,
I'll
how
throw
good are
it
you
out.
at catching, Zeke?
I feel like I'm decent up at catching a rifle. If I need to, I've got stabilizers in EGOT.
I'll say I won't make you roll. I'm just being mean. I'll
Be
say,
mean.
yeah,
I'm ready to cry.
I'll say Jewel throws it and Zeke, you catch the rifle.
Yeah, I'll throw it, and it's almost like I just toss it and go running to deal with the fire.
No problem.
Because I would like to use my action to use the gun.
Okay.
And yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, that's fine. I'll say roll for that. It'll be insight operate to use the gun. It's tech level 3, which is nothing to use, so you can use it without any sort of.
The gun is 4, but yeah.
Oh, is it 4? Yeah, fair. No, that's
Yeah,
fine.
yeah.
He's still fine for Zeke.
Yeah.
So Zeke, you roll that. Roll an insight. Operate on that. Jewel, you run past what is now a burning area of wall and ceiling next to the door frame. You run through that to your room to go and get the fire suppression kit, as you were all firefighters. Big Spear, Crassus, and Cap. What are you three doing in this kind of combined instance? Nothing. Okay, cool.
No,
I'll go
kinda-
first.
Just hanging.
Cap, go first. What are you doing?
Can I say that in like my bag of shit, my bag of rocks and minerals and stuff, I've got certain samples of perhaps some highly reactive minerals.
More than likely, yes.
Yeah, so kind of like Cap doesn't want to be doing this because Cap does not like interacting this closely with the Wakers. But I'm gonna look at the legs and try and like equate it to a tree of some kind and look for handholds and start climbing the outside of this thing so I can reach a weak point to add some explosive metals to like just completely disable it.
Okay. Are you going to leave the rope that you were originally going to use to try and tie its legs up with?
Yeah, those are tied, and I'm just gonna like free solo it on the outside.
Okay, yeah. Because I'll say you can like during all this time you can run around and use like the movement you have to wrap this rope around its legs and then start kind of scrambling up. Okay, so I'm gonna want a quickness move for you to do some bouldering, as it were, as you climb up.
Okay, how many spirit do I have? I'll use a spirit so I can have 3.
Okay.
Oh, wow. 2 successes.
Okay, that's more than enough. You only needed 1 for this because it isn't currently moving, so you get an additional 1. But you're already at max momentum, so unless you want to spend some momentum to regain any spirit used, just kind of just evaporate. So you start climbing up, and I'll say Cap, you get to a point and you're climbing up the back of the Waker at this point. Crassus, you were stood kind of at the base for one of its kind of tripod feet, where it had just discharged its weapon in front of you, but then immediately after Zeke's telling you that it's stopped moving, attack it now. What do you want to do? What would you like to do as you're kind of stood there?
Yeah, so I scale up the back of it, compare to just like thrust my spear kind of right into the the center of mass, the body.
Okay. Make me a might fight.
Can I add guidance to this roll? I want to try and help out.
Course.
Yeah. As you're going up, Big's just like, "You got this, kid. Take your first Waker down."
All right. So would that do anything different for me? Do I roll the same still?
I roll a resolve and talk and just add it to whatever you get. Yeah.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
I got 1, was it under my might? And then the other one isn't under either. So I got a 4 and a 13.
Okay. Big
So
what did you...
I got a 4, which is under resolve and talk.
Okay, so that was 3 total. To attack this, you only needed to get 2. I will say with that additional 1, rather than it get wasted, I'll say we can utilize that as you do make more of let's say a guided strike, because you had some guidance, but it's more of a focus and you aim at a very specific point, a weak point on this. That now, as a spear, as someone who kind of brought up to fight Wakers, you learn about weak points in armor, gaps in plating and stuff, so you kind of have an idea of where some of these weak points would generally be, and luckily, because it's not moving, because it is glitched, you're able to find one of these weak points with your spear, and you jab it in. So what's the damage that an electro spear does?
Have it written down on my sheet. 4, I think, right? Yeah, shocked 4.
Okay. Okay. So you hit it, you jam it in, and you see where the spear hits, and a pulse of electricity flows through your spear, and you see that the waker at that weak point starts to spark, where you clearly hit some connections, and it is now like sparking constantly from this point. And because you've jammed it in with force and moved your spear around it, you've kind of peeled back a bit of the armor as well, exposing this weak spot for further damage to be done there. Luckily, Cap is also on the back of it, next to you, where you've just opened up this spot. Just saying. Zeke, what did you roll when you used Jules' weapon?
So I spent a spirit because I wanted to roll 3. I forgot what the difficulty was to do this anyway. 2. So I rolled an 8, a 1, and a 1.
Ooh.
So it comes out to 5 successes for me.
Mm-hmm. So you got 3 extra. You said you spent a spirit. Do you want to spend...
I spent a spirit. I want to spend momentum to
gain that spirit?
Not immediately. Okay. I actually want to do a couple things.
Okay. Go for
with
it.
the shot, I'd like to, because it's 3, I'd like to spend momentum to try and make a truth.
Okay.
I would like to try and breach it with the shot to get some. I want to be able to shoot inside of it and neutralize it. Basically, something that would. I don't want to like destroy it because I'm worried about like fallout, explosion, something. I want to hit something that would cause it to power down.
Mm-hmm.
So I want something like a breached space to get a better like angle to see things. But then also I'd like to spend one of my extra momentum and one from the group to do a follow-up to then take another shot.
Ooh. Okay. Interesting. So. Okay. I'm gonna spend 2 threat.
Uh-oh.
Because I can. I'll tell you what for in a minute. So, Zeke, you point this rifle very hastily at this waker that is currently unmoving in front of you. Seeing Crassus and Cap kind of climbing up the back to do damage there. And you shoot at it. And your shot hits, and it hits beautifully in the center of its torso eye. And you crack the lens that is kind of covering it, this kind of nanofilament lens that's covering its central eye, and break a hole into it that goes straight into its kind of the core of this waker, the core of its kind of processing. So you've opened up a hole that if you hit it again in that exact same spot, it's going to be, let's say, catastrophic for this waker, as you're going to hit right into the kind of central processing area of it. Roll for your follow-up shot. Whilst you do that, I'm just going to move over to everyone else. Jewel, you run back in and grab the fire suppressant.
I'm going to try and put out this fire.
Cool.
It's it specifies it's a quickness operate test.
Okay. Roll me a quickness operate.
I don't know what the difficulty, depends how big the fire is.
Difficulty's going to be 1 for this fire currently.
All right, let's try it.
I didn't roll very high for how quickly it would spread.
Quickness operate. Oh man. Is there anything I can do after a roll has happened?
You can spend spirit to re-roll.
Sure, let's try that.
Okay.
Let's still spend a spirit and re-roll this. Come on now. There we go. Okay, 2 successes.
Okay. Wonderful.
They're both 5s.
Nice. So you get the fire suppression kit and you start kind of putting this fire out. Luckily, it hasn't spread, so it doesn't take you long to put it out. You only needed 1 success. You've got 2.
So there's a momentum.
So that's generated a point of momentum, which you can...
Do we have...
The group has momentum still.
I brought us down to 5 by spending
Okay,
one over
yeah,
mine,
so
so
bring it back up to 6. Yeah,
it'll bring it back to 6.
and then I'll make my way downstairs to join the others since I don't have a ranged weapon anymore.
Okay. And you put it out and you rush downstairs. Moving over to Cap, as you had climbed up the back of this waker, and you find yourself next to Crassus, who has just stabbed into it and made an opening that is currently sparking in it. You have arrived. Is there anything you wish to do at this point?
Out of my bag, I'm going to pull out like a little, really banged up, like little glass jar that's got like oil and then like this little block in it. And like still hanging on, I'm gonna like open it up and then kind of like dump the contents onto that open portion. Mm-hmm. And I am wearing gloves, but just not right now. And I'm just gonna like very like palm heel strike and like smash it flat. And sorry, it's Crassus who's next to me?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Can he see me?
Press that spear in.
He's right next to you.
Okay, because my cloak is on, so I just don't know if...
I would probably say, well, your cloak gives you the advantage on stealth checks, as it were.
Right, I'll just like have my hood back or something so he can see me.
You're in a position where, with Crassus being next to you and you're both dealing with the same thing, it's very hard for him to not see you. Okay. And with him being an ally as well, you allow yourself to be seen.
Okay. So I'm going to look at him and be like, oh, you should probably get down. And I'm going to like, how many feet up would you say we are?
8, 9 feet.
Okay, so not that high.
No, not that high.
I will try and like do a like push myself. Like I'm aware that I'm higher than I should be jumping from, but like kind of push myself back. And as I'm like going away, I'll like take out like a container of water and throw it so it like smashes on the area that I have just put a big old lump of potassium. So as soon as like the water hits it, it's gonna start like creating this blue, purpley, very bright flame, and it's gonna smoke a lot.
Okay.
So it's gonna smell really bad.
That's one thing it's gonna do. Okay, so
and as they're doing that, Crassus hops off. I've got a lot of quickness. I feel like I should be.
So you're very acrobatic
okay
anyway. So yeah, you could even flip off if you wanted and do like a somersault or a backflip. Zeke, all this is happening at the same point. You're taking that follow-up shot.
Yes, I rolled a 4 and a 6, and my operate is a 6.
Okay.
So that's 4 successes.
It is. Okay. So, let's play this out in a slightly cinematic way. You all, to recap, you all made it downstairs apart from Jewel, who was looking through the window originally to cover you all with a gun. Seeing this waker shooting at people, Zeke, you attempted to distract it and pull its gaze towards yourself in the hope that you could set your glyphs off and glitch it and basically stop it from doing what it's doing. As you go to distract, Jewel shoots it in an attempt to do a similar thing and manages to hit it. Not necessarily.
Wait, Zeke, right?
No, this is at the beginning. I'm recapping the fight. You're good.
Previously on.
Yes. So Jewel, you shoot it and do damage. At this point, its gaze goes onto you and it attempts to shoot you back. Luckily missing you, but setting the room you were in on fire. Crassus goes to take a leg out, but unfortunately hits the armor plate straight on, missing the gap he was going for. Whilst Cap is running around with their covert cloak on, trying to tie its legs as if it's an AT-AT on Hoth. Bigsby, you go for a shot as well, unfortunately, hitting that armor plate again and missing it, but in an attempt to distract this creature, this waker. With your shot and your distraction, it turns to you. Luckily, you're stood with Zeke, who has these glyphs up, ready to go, and the glyphs, it recognizes the glyphs, drops its weapon, discharges it into the floor in front of Crassus, only feet away. Luckily not full powered, otherwise it would have taken Crassus out and you would have been left with some dust on the floor. Luckily not. And it stops, it glitches, it takes on this spam folder of data that Zeke has put in there that is just like show tunes from the 80s of a century long gone. And it stands there. So you all take this opportunity to take it out. Jewel, you're like, nope, I'm done. Gives Zeke the gun. There's a fire. We're a fire suppression team. Let's deal with that. So you go put the fire out. Cap and Crassus climb up this thing in an attempt to take it out. Crassus stabbing into its kind of outer core and pulling open some of the paneling, exposing wires, cutting them and making them spark. With Cap opening a vial of potassium and shoving it into this exposed area, telling Crassus to jump, whilst Cap themselves jumps and throws water at this exposed potassium at the back of the Waker. Round the front, we have Zeke with Jewel's gun, shooting it dead on bullseye in its large optic, breaking a hole into it. And then taking a very fast motion to go for a second shot. Zeke, you shoot this thing again, square on. You're not usually someone who's very good with a gun, but you shoot this thing square on in the eye again. Maybe the adrenaline of seeing this Waker in action and seeing all this technology going on has kind of instilled a new energy within you, and you shoot this thing square on in the eye again. As you shoot it, Jewel, you kind of come out of the front door of the inn to see all this. Timing is key here, and we're good with timing. But Zeke, you shoot it, and you hear a very large explosion, and you're like, "Damn, like that was a good shot." The only thing is, the Waker, as you're looking at it, bends with its torso going backwards and its legs coming forward as you shoot it, as if like you've done a headshot and it's going back. But the force isn't that way. The force is towards you, as this very large explosion comes from the back of the Waker, as the potassium and water mixed inside this Waker with all the circuitry and the battery and everything in there explodes, blowing the batteries up as well, blowing Cap not 9 feet to the floor, but let me roll this and let me roll this 19 feet back in the air.
After the chat.
as this Waker kind of explodes forward, falling onto its back with its legs now facing you, in a large crumpled mechanical mess on the floor. Crassus, you jumping off in perfect timing just to miss all this, landing next to it, kind of superhero Aquaman style, like one knee on the ground, spear stood there.
Hold my spear.
Exactly. As this thing is now a smouldering electrical mess on the floor, in front of you all, apart from Cap, who is a little ways away.
See,
Cap,
I knew you could do it.
Cap, can you make me a resolve move?
I'm gonna spend another spirit on that so I can hopefully not die. I'm sure I'm fine. What the okay.
It's a difficulty 2.
That's a 1.
like a one success.
Okay. So, this all happens. Cap, you are thrown backwards. You already jumped to do this. So, when the explosion went off, you were already in motion. It's just kind of increased that motion backwards. From Cap's point of view, you jump, you see this kind of wave of energy and kind of smoke come towards you, and everything goes black. And that's where we're going to take a break. So, for those watching, thank you very much. Stick around. We're going to be back in a couple of minutes while we just take a quick bio break and take a moment. And then we will deal with the fallout of this little combat situation that we've had. So, yeah, stick with us. We'll be back in a minute. And we are back from our short break. Thank you very much for sticking around and hanging out with us. To recap very briefly, before we jump back in, everyone was taking a lovely sleep, and they woke up to the sound of screams and pulse, weapon blast, fire, and big stompy robot sounds. They all went downstairs. Zeke running ahead of everyone. Jules staying behind in the window, not wanting to go outside just yet. And they encountered a large waker that was rampaging through Seleco camp, shooting people. And combat ensued, and everyone took some shots at it. Unfortunately, the room Jewel was in got set on fire by the waker. But luckily, our fire suppression team jumped into action and put it out.
I mean, it would have looked bad, right? Like if we said came in with that and we're like, we couldn't. This fire's out of control.
The room that we were staying in is still on fire.
Yeah.
Whoops.
You tried. But yeah, Jewel put it out while the rest of the group engaged in combat. A bit of damage was done at first, but not a lot, and then we crescendoed in a large amount of damage from Zeke shooting the main optic of this waker, and Crassus opening up a hole in the back for Cap to throw in some potassium and water, which ensued in a very large explosion, which has blown Cap off the back of it back into the air. Luckily, Zeke shot a double bullseye into its optic, kind of deadening its main processor, whilst Cap's explosives blew the back of it up, and it landed flat on the floor. Everyone's fine except Cap, who was thrown back away. From Cap's perspective, blackness, darkness, nothing currently. So the rest of you, this waker has now dropped to the ground. There is some dust kind of hanging around in the air as this thing has hit and exploded. You're now in a position to kind of take stock of the situation.
Joel's gonna look around. We see Cap's body.
Not currently because of the dust and the snow and the smoke
okay.
and that. Like, yeah, you don't see.
Okay, so I'll sit.
Cap.
Is everyone all right? Go check in, and then sort of like work through the dust, trying to find and go through and.
Yeah, I go to where Zeke was standing because I know they were kind of close to it. It's kind of.
And Zeke's currently like, I think we're in a recovery shock state of like the adrenaline has surged through, and now Zeke can't let go of the gun. It's still stuck in like aim mode and just stuck.
Mm-hmm.
Bigsby puts his hand on the barrel. He's like, all right, kid, you did good. You did real good.
Yeah, it is done. It is done. It's down.
All right, just take a deep breath with me, and I don't really have a phrase or anything for calming this type of nerve rack, but you did good, kid.
Good. I did good.
Was that some sort of dubstep, old world classical music you were playing?
Classic academic. It is what it is called.
You gotta have to share that playlist with me.
Grimdark Step, I believe it is called.
This is my attempt to sort of to get to talk about some of this. Yeah, tell me all about Grimdark Step. Come on.
Yeah. Okay. From softwares. Some softwares.
Oh, good. You're both all right. And Crassus.
Yeah, I'm here. I'm okay.
Okay.
Come
Cap.
forward, big grin on the face.
Crassus, you look very happy. I'm glad that you really enjoyed this.
I knew we were gonna be able to do it.
Is that a bunch of grease all over your face? That's basically waker blood. Good job.
Cap. Where's Cap? Where'd you last see Cap? I was coming downstairs, and when I came out, you'd done it. You'd all done it.
Cap was on the Waker right next to me. I don't know where they went.
Cap was on this Waker that's fuming right now. Was on?
Yeah, we were both on top of it, and they told me to jump, and I did, and I don't know where they went.
Okay, all right. Let's try and everyone get eyes on Cap. Spread out. And we're gonna start looking. See if we can find Cap.
Yeah.
Now, is Cap still covered in their cloak?
I don't think it doesn't make them invisible. It just gives them
it's
advantage.
yeah.
Stealth.
I'm gonna say they still have their cloak on, but it is kind of splayed open, shall we say? It is not in its optimum condition.
Use scenario.
Yes,
Gotcha.
yes. But I'll say you start looking around. You don't need to roll for this because they're not moving, so it's not hard to find them. But you start looking around, and you move towards the opposite side of the Waker where its back was, and you see several paces further back from the Waker, lay on the ground on their back, an unconscious Cap.
I'm gonna go running over to Cap. I'm like, over here, everyone! I found him. And kneel down and. What's Cap looking like? What's the assessment here?
Yes.
Zeke, that first aid kit I gave you. Come, quick.
Yeah. As like coming
it
that way
together.
while looking at the Waker still, like okay. Can we assess injuries on Cap to determine what I might have a
Make me
tech level 4 kit too.
Okay, that's fine. Make me an insight survival.
Could I call it insight study?
Well, I'm going to say insight survival because
That was
the
what I
use of a
thought.
first aid kit is also insight survival. So I'm going to double
okay.
up on that to
That makes sense.
look at the injuries.
That's a 13 and a 1. Okay, so that's 2 successes because
that's,
the 1.
That's more than enough. Two is the DC for this, and this is just to observe and kind of check over Cap. Firstly, they are unconscious. Secondly, they have a lot of their clothing is heavily singed on the front, with some areas around the shoulder that has burnt through, and there is some 3rd-degree burns on their shoulder and chest. Again, on their leg around the knees, also burnt. But that's not the main issue you see. As you're kind of doing a top-to-toe ABCs for first aid, airways, breathing, and circulation. That's
Wow.
yeah, anyway. So whilst you're doing the ABCs and you're doing the secondary search of them whilst they lay there, you put your hand at the back of their head, at the base of their neck, and pull it away, and you see blood on your hand.
Okay, hold on. I'll hold them. Zeke, you get this. You know how to use that, right?
As like Zeke has gone away from dealing with people and is treating this like a machine, as like takes their tool supplies. The first aid kit, because it's a power device, fits on my EGOT, so like activates that arm as it comes out and sets out like the medical table spot. But it is a single wand like nanotech device which can re-knit torn flesh, broken bone, and soothe burned tissue and ease pain. So it's like a catch-all device that I can kind of mend. So like the arms are kind of doing like one part is dealing with the back wound, trying to find it and deal with that flesh, and also trying to soothe some of the burns that are like obviously more dire, and just kind of, I guess, reconfiguring that.
So the burns are not the more dire injury.
The
bleeding.
the bleeding. Yeah,
Yes.
that's what I point to. I'm like, no, right here.
As like focusing EGOT towards that way and kind of like using hand way to do that. The EGOT's more precise than Zeke
I
is with
will need an
people.
insight survival check to use.
Can I
that.
assist in any way?
I want to guide if
Yes.
it's possible.
I will
to
say
play.
if you all want to get involved, you can.
And what do we do for that again?
So for an assist,
You
you
roll
will
one
roll
die?
Yeah, you will roll 1 die. You will roll insight survival as well, and any successes you make will be added to
Okay.
Zeke's, and
Yeah.
then Bigsby, you use your guidance.
Special.
Special
Yeah,
thing.
which is resolve talk.
Ooh, one success on this end.
And can I determine the level of the injury? Because it does say like depending on the, it can heal a certain level, and I want to see if I have to use a feature to do more.
Have a look. Let me just get it up in the book. You don't by chance know what page it's on?
I know the first aid kit specifically is on 160, where it talks about it can treat
Yeah,
a cost of the kit's
Perfect.
tech level +1. So I guess I'm trying to know how much damage Cap
Yeah.
took to see
Injure the cost.
if I need to upgrade my dice to make something work.
The kit can treat injures the cost of the kit's tech level +1.
Yeah, because like treating injuries, you can heal a certain point, but you gotta like spend momentum to do more healing.
Mm-hmm.
And then that one's powered. Cool.
And it's part of my EGOT, so as long as I have power devices, I can move the power amongst my devices.
Nice.
And
I'm gonna
everything's
say-
charged, so I've got 4.
Yeah, I'm gonna say tech level 4.
But it is. Wait.
So the
That's-
injury level 4.
So injury level,
Cap is-
yeah, I'm gonna say injury level 4.
So then, solid. The first aid kit will work. So I will do the Insight Survive, and I will spend a Spirit to add 1 because it's part of my EGOT.
Get an extra 2 successes from over here.
yeah. So you've got 3 extra from us.
Okay.
Perfect. I can re-roll 1 because it's using my EGOT. So 3 over there, and then I got a 5 and a 1 and an 18. So that's 3 from me because my study is only a 3. So yeah, 3 from me. So that's 6 altogether.
6. Well done. You needed 5.
Oh my
Snap.
gosh.
See, I knew I had. I was like,
So, with you all around Cap, assisting in what way you can to treat the injuries. The burns, less likely of a problem. They can be treated fine. The injury to the back of the head, at first you don't move Cap because you're like, okay, spinal injury. You don't move people with a spinal injury. You've got to stabilize the neck and everything. So you do. Jewel, you kind of hold Cap's neck whilst the EGOT utilizes the kit to do everything. And you move. And what you've seen is that Cap has fell on their back, but they have landed on a rock at the base of their skull. And it had basically cut into the back of their head, unfortunately, and done some damage round there. A little bit of broken bone, a little bit of torn tissue, and leaked spinal fluid, shall we say. It was almost an insta-kill kind of situation, but
Yeah,
luckily
if
it
we'd failed
wasn't.
this, if we'd failed this, Cap would have died.
Maybe. But you
I
might
just
be.
need a nap and a snack.
Yeah, you'll be fine. So, luckily, you managed to heal the physical injury that was caused. But the problem is, like, it was a very severe injury that has potentially some long-lasting damage. I'm gonna spend I'm gonna spend 2 to create a truth. I'm gonna give Cap. I'm gonna give you a truth called. We're gonna go with concussed for this. In the sense that you have concussion. You are currently still unconscious for a period of time, which I'm gonna roll. Okay. And when you do come to, you will suffer the effects of concussion. So. Any skill check that involves movement or... Let me double check this. Yeah, any skill check that involves movement and study and sneak will be... The DC on that will be increased by 1 for a period of time. Well, until the truth is removed because of your concussion. Because your balance is off, you're nauseous. And everything as happens with concussion, but unfortunately you are unconscious still. That's something that the group will now have to deal with. But you are out of danger, and you are not dead. So that's a win in my book. Or maybe not. I am the GM. Anyway, We'll see. But you guys have saved Cap, and you have taken down this Waker.
All right. Thank goodness. That you had that. We should get Cap inside and into a bed or something. Bixby, could you carry them?
Yeah, definitely. But I take Cap inside.
Where did that come from?
And like
what happened to him?
Oh, Zeke goes to just walks away to investigate the Waker. Just the best way for Zeke to understand anything is just to piecemeal this machine and is like investigating anything it can discern, particularly processing, optics, and if I can find anything about its memory to track its most recent behavior, to see what it's done and like where, kind of answering that question, where it came from and like how it might have got here, what it remembers seeing, hearing, sensing, and experiencing.
Okay. I'll say you go and start kind of dismantling sections of this Waker to try and get to its kind of central processing core and where all that sort of information will be. Whilst you're doing that, it's going to take a few minutes for you to do that.
Yeah.
Bigsby, you're taking Cap back into the inn. Jewel and Crassus.
Yeah, I think Jewel. I mean, the inn is right next to this machine. I think Jewel will go inside and sit down in a chair and like have a drink, like pour herself a drink, and sort of speak to the others, presumably in, I don't know, a way that we can all hear each other somewhat.
Yeah, I think like I'll set Cap down in their room and then come back out and like kind of confer.
You don't think it was after us, do you?
That's what I was afraid of. Possibly that thing we're carrying.
It does seem like a weird coincidence for it to show up in this town of all places. They didn't seem prepared for anything like this.
No, and speaking of, we should probably check that everyone's all right. I'll go do the rounds and make sure no one else was hit on the way in. If it came straight to us, then yeah, my inclination would be to think that it was us that drew it here. In which
That means
case
we gotta get out of here as soon as possible.
Yeah, exactly. All right, let's go have a look, though, yeah? And I think while Zeke is looking at the machine, Jewel's going to be checking more, like, the path it came in and, like, if anyone else has been hurt or anything like that.
Yeah. So you leave the inn after taking a moment to kind of regroup, as it were, and kind of regather yourself.
A shot of whiskey.
Yeah. You just go behind like the bar and you just grab the bottle. There's no waiting to be served because there is no one in the inn to serve you. As Regina and Harold are currently not in the inn. But you go back outside, and again Zeke is completely in his mind palace working away on this Waker to try and find out what he can. You take a moment to kind of look around. Again, it was like 5 a.m. when this happened, so you know the sun is rising. At this point it is getting light again, so you can see the town and the surrounding land. And you do now see people kind of coming back into the main street, out of buildings, out of the fields, now that the threat, as it were, has gone. And you see some people like holding each other, some people limping, coming in, some people who look injured, maybe not directly from the Waker, but from the melee of the scramble to get away. And you do see Benjamin walking up from the southern entrance to the town, holding his arm, which appears to be singed from the neck down to the elbow. He's holding that, walking up towards you.
Benjamin! Hey!
Hello, you okay?
Yes, we're all right. Well, we're all right. What happened? What did you see?
Well, we were at the South Hall. It was night shift, you know. Someone's got to be there. You go, okay, people got to pay to get in. But we were there, and then we heard a noise from the trees. We thought it was someone coming, so we were going to see, and then this fucking thing showed up and just started smashing its way through and shooting things at us. So we ran.
Is everyone all right?
I'm a little bit hurt, but you know, I fared better than some of the others at the gate.
Did it chase you? Did it just move past? Was it just moving through?
It came out of the trees. It started shooting when it looked at us. That big eye thing. And then, you know, those that got out of the way ran, and it just kept shooting. And then the further away we ran, it stopped and kept on walking in sound. Then I just heard screaming, and I just ducked.
All right. I'm glad you're all right, Benjamin. Great. Okay. Great. That's it. I just wanted to check.
I'm gonna go lie down now.
Yes. Go lie down. Go tend to your wounds. I don't know if the others came with me, but I'll kind of look to Bixby and Crassus. Like, let's not mention, you know, our suspicions. Presumably.
Yeah. No, we just helped out.
Yes. Lucky we were here.
Speaking of which, Crassus, do you gotta like take a? Do you guys take trophies from these things? Because I was eyeing some parts. I don't know. There's a cool dangly bit over here.
Yeah, let's go do some scavenging. You're right. What am I thinking? Let's go back to the machine.
Okay.
Yeah, I mean, usually that's part of the braid into my spear. You know, we'll take just a little something, you know, just to commemorate the kill.
Yeah, you did good. You did real good.
Thanks.
We're so happy.
Well, I mean, this is something I'm working for a while. I mean, I've been around when other spears, you know, took down Wakers and it helped. But this is the most I've gotten to do before. This is great.
It's exciting. Yes. Very cool. And you seek this out.
I mean, somebody's got to do it, right? We got to protect people.
Yeah. Yeah, somebody's got to do it, right? Yes, and I'm very grateful that you are that someone, and not me. All right, let's see what Zeke has found. Let's see what we can find out of this thing too. I need to resupply anyway. Actually, yeah. Speaking of which, can I resupply from this mech?
Yes, I will say so. Yeah, you go back to the this now dead Waker, and yeah, you're able to scavenge bits and pieces off it to re-up your supply points. Crassus, you're able to take a memento from this Waker if you wish. And it can be anything from, again, like a set of wires, a specific piece of metal that you want to attach or anything like that. Bigsby, if you want to do anything with it, you can again re-up supply points and scavenge some bits from it.
Yeah.
Zeke, I need an insight study from you as you're trying to gather some information from this fallen Waker.
So I did insight study. I had to spend a spirit to get an extra dice because I was nervous about it, and I spent a spirit to re-roll, and that gave me 4 successes.
Okay. So, you start kind of digging away. Unfortunately, your double bullseye shot has destroyed the central processor of this Waker, and the explosion that came from behind has kind of fried any sort of modules that would kind of have the information you're looking for in terms of memory banks, operating system, what it's doing, why it's doing it, all that sort of stuff. So you can't gather that information, but there are two things you are able to take from this. One, there is still several power sources within it that you can salvage, so you can gain batteries and so on from this that you can utilize elsewhere, as well as, again, as much scrap and circuitry as you can carry. The second thing is you do find that you've kind of been digging through it and you tripped something, one of the circuits in there. You managed to put a spark through it, and it set the hydraulics in it that caused its torso to turn as its eye would look, and the whole kind of head torso turned, like jolted to one side, which gave you access to the back of its head, in essence, the back of its torso. So you had a look around there, and you do notice that there is a section kind of like at that point of the dome of its bulk, where it looks like there would be a cover, like a cover cap on it, that is not there. But you do see that what the cover cap would have been covering is an area of circuitry and what looks like an access port. But the cover is missing, and it doesn't look like it's missing as if it's come off or fell off during the melee or anything. It's something
like tool removal.
Yes, it's the sort of thing that tools would be needed to remove that.
And you said an access port, like something I can put like a data storage device and try to take anything from that same access point. My intention is I want to, since somebody may have accessed this as an archivist in tech, I believe I can backtrack someone's input code to try to find like their signature experience. Somebody had to have done something. Can I backtrack and see who wrote it or something like that?
Roll me an Insight Operate DC 5.
Difficulty 5. Oh, we going ham on this. Okay. So EGOT can get involved. Okay. I have 4 spirit. So what we're gonna do is
This is where Zeke kills himself to learn out the smallest bit of information.
honestly, possibly. So
He thought himself to death.
Zeke is going to. I'm gonna spend 3 spirit to add 3 more dice. So it's a 1, a 4, and a 2 under. You said under operate.
Yes.
So that's 1. That's 6 without the reroll.
Okay.
But I can automatically reroll because EGOT. So I'm gonna reroll the 2 that didn't, just to see if I can push it.
Mm-hmm.
1 became a success. The other one is a 14. So it's 2, 4, 6, 7 successes.
Okay, so you generated 2 points of spirit. And you've nearly exhausted yourself. Sorry, 2 points
Luckily.
of momentum. Nearly exhausted yourself in trying to get this.
Yes, I did.
I will say, Crassus, Jewel, and Bigsby, you see Zeke kind of moving from the front to this back portion of the thing as your cells scavenging around it, and enter into a bit of a frantic trance as he begins connecting wires, plugging things into this section, and using his kind of data pad to try and see what he can uncover. Fortunately for you, it was a DC 5 and he succeeded. The information you get, Zeke, is that you don't get access codes, you don't get logs of what was used, but what you do get is a signal that states that this waker was activated, and it was activated in the last 3 hours, but that it was activated by an external source, not by a rogue,
The waker code.
not by a builder signal, not by a ping or anything that seems to be setting wakers off at random. This was an intentional turning on. of this by an external source. The additional thing you get from that is that the external source was a device that was plugged into it to turn it on.
With the 2 extra momentum, I want to ask if turning it on was more like just booted it up and it ran its normal routine, or did someone turn it on, and could I tell if they gave it like an override of the builder code that's normally supposed to be in Wakers? Like, did they hijack it or did they just boot it up?
It was just booted up.
Okay. I don't know if I had to spend momentum. Do I have an idea of people who could do that? Like, I don't even know if anyone I know of in terms of like archivists can actually just turn on Wakers.
You don't have direct knowledge of it, but you feel like you've heard of Wakers being turned on. But that's like, it was like a passing thing. You're like, oh, you know, you overheard someone talking about, oh, did you hear about that? Like, something happened and like someone turned one on.
And is that like something like that's plausible, or is that something that we're like that's a myth, like it's an archivist tale kind of experience, or is it like we have theories that we could do it, we just haven't had a chance to?
I would say it was a 50-50 between that. It's more of a yeah, someone turned it on, but then it's like that. But actually,
yeah, someone turned it on. Okay.
Yeah.
Then that is, I think that's a terrifying concept. Actually, Zeke is not okay with that. Zeke is very like, upon like doing this and getting the information and accessing the code, and is like, no. That's not possible. That's not. It's in theoretical, but if someone could and someone did, and then someone has the functionality to do so.
Whoa. Zeke, what's you okay there, bud?
And like, is there anyone else? There's no one else like immediately near me in my group, right? Is it just like us on the Waker?
Currently, I'm going to say it's just you guys on the Waker. There are people in the street, but they're still kind of keeping a distance from the thing that just tried to kill everyone.
Yeah. These Waker did not turn on. It was not a builder code that did it, or somebody turned it on manually.
Like someone locally? Like, do you know how far it came from?
It was in the last 3 hours. It was turned on. 3 hours of travel time with the rate that this can move. It could be several miles if it was going straight. If it had done nothing else, I don't know what its directive was, or if there was additional. But somebody simply found a way to access and boot it up willingly.
Does this Waker look familiar, or do any parts of it look like?
It's great.
Don't know this guy. Don't know him.
It's Dave from down the road. That's all. Everyone knows Dave.
Down the road, Dave.
You mean like, is it like a Waker that we passed on the way, or is it?
Yeah, because we passed by that one, and then I think there's a couple throughout the map that are like asleep.
Yeah.
Oh, is this one? So is this one that we passed by or are aware of?
I'm going to say no. You've not seen this one before. You've not seen one like this before either. You've not seen one that is built in this way, where it has this just giant kind of optical eye for a torso with guns attached.
Oh no, Zeke has a terrifying thought. Does this Waker appear new? Like within the last, I think the math of the lore is like 200 years, like built after the war.
Interesting. Roll me.
Oh no.
Roll me an insight study.
What's the difficulty?
3.
All right, so every time I do a difficulty 3, I get 1 spirit back. This is study, so I can't operate, so I can't EGOT it. So we're just gonna spend 2. We're gonna spend. Yeah, we're gonna spend 2 spirit to do this. and I'll still have 1 to reroll, and I'll be exhausted if I need to. You said study, so that's 4, 7, 9, 10. None of those are below my study, but they're all below insight, so that's 4 successes.
Okay, so you regain 1 momentum.
And I'm gonna spend that to regain 1 spirit, and then I get another one because it's a difficulty 3.
Okay, very nice. So you take a moment to kind of soak in the thought that you're having, and you start looking at the Waker, and then you start kind of like you scan it, and then you look at its legs, and you look at the armor plating on its legs, and then you look at the gaps between the joints of the metal panels of its legs. That's still like there is a natural gap between the plating, and you look and you kind of take a moment, and then you're like, there's no rust, there's no debris, there's no dirt or anything between the plates, and you look and you go, that paint looks clean on that armor plating. And before you say anything out loud, after kind of gauging this information, looking and going like, this isn't older than 200 years, there's not enough, wear and tear from just general erosion or anything. That's where we're going to leave it for today.
Oh man. Okay.
So Zeke has a secret.
Okay.
Oh no.
But we will leave it there until our next session. So everyone watching, thank you very much for joining us today on this episode of our Dreams and Machines campaign. Welcome to Avera Prime. So welcome to Avera Prime. This is the world we are in. This is the state of things. They're great. It's fine. Everything's wonderful. But yes, we'll be back next week for another episode. Unfortunately, our dreamer is currently unconscious, so we may not see them next week. But they're still here with us. They are not dead. We established that. They are not dead. They survived.
Yes. Right.
It's close, though. Anyway, thank you very much for watching. We'll quickly run around the table and let you know who we all are and where you can find us and what we're up to. And then we'll say bye. So let's go on to the thing. We'll go in reverse order. So we're going to start with Zeke.
I've been Zeke Tennant. I got a secret. I'm freaked out. But more importantly, it's Jaden King. From all social media at It's Jaden King. I make TTRPG content for all kinds of things. I'll be at D&D in the Castle in April, and I've still got a few seats left. And there's a Black Friday deal where you can actually get a, I think it's rebate. So if you book the table soon, you actually get money off the full price, and it'll be an epic experience for that D&D stuff. Also, I work on TTRPG University with my partner and girlfriend, doing all kinds of stuff to help you level up your gaming experience at the table as a player, performer, and professional. So let's make things happen. We're all royalty in some way.
Thank you very much. Next up is Crassus.
Hi, I'm Logan. I play Crassus. You can find me at Logan Quinn Film on Instagram or Tank Loves You on Twitch. I do a lot of video game role play, so feel free to follow me there.
Awesome. Thank you very much. Bixby, you're up.
Hi, I've been Bixby. I am Phil Correa in not Dreams and Machines world. And if you want to find me on social media, I'm at mphilipcorrea on pretty much everything except for Twitch, which is Philbofraggins. And I do a podcast called GGG. It's all about video games and news and all of that type of good stuff. Yeah, that's me. Thank you.
Thank you. Cap, you're up.
Hi, I have been Cap. I am unconscious, but I'm okay. My name is Rachel Beauregard. I am a Toronto-based actor. You can find me lurking in your local cereal aisle at the grocery store. Anything that I'm involved in, you can find announced on my personal Instagram at Manic Pixie Tank Girl.
Thank you very much. And Jewel, you're up.
Hello, hi, I'm Josephine McAdam. I've been playing Jewel today. You can find me at JCVIM everywhere on Twitch. We're streaming lots of Baldur's Gate recently, some Ghost of Tsushima. And if you want to check out some movies, you can check out Shudder for a couple films I'm in and other things. Yeah, keep up online. And that's where I post about all the different shows that I'm in and can't keep straight in my head.
Thank you very much. And I'm Danny. You can find me on social media, Check for Traps and Check for Traps MTG. I do Magic the Gathering stuff now as well on the side. Thank you very much for watching. Check out our other shows, such as Fallout. We're doing the Winter of Atom campaign for that. We have Star Trek Adventures. And we have a new YouTube channel where all these VODs will live, which is Modiphius Live. That is our actual play and tutorial channel. Then all the cool kind of informational stuff about the games we produce will be found over on the main Modiphius channel. And if you like this game and you want to check it out, Dreams and Machines, go and buy it. You can get it. It exists. The books are beautiful. It's a very nice game. It's a very fun world. Yeah, check it out on the web store or your local game store, and go run it for yourselves. But yeah, until next time, we'll see you all later. Bye.